Okay, I thought I apologize for the low light here. The sun just set. But I just discovered an issue I had. We have a 2012 Range Rover supercharged 5.0, and just got this, going through suspension changes, and from previous owner had coil springs. I'm putting the air back on, put a new compressor on. Still, after all this, and it works out fine for height adjustments, but I noticed my air compressor is running too much, and so much that I was timing it, and we're headed towards 5 minutes upon every start. We'll go through some adjustments, you know, do the calibrated settings, nothing much, but then we just run and run and run, and I wasn't, I didn't think that was right. so I've been soaping some of the joints and talking to a lot of people on the forums, and I just found it. I found a major leak at the reservoir tank fitting. So I figured I'd show you if you have the same kind of issue and your compressor's running so much, and then you get the high temperature trip and fault on your dash that you have to keep hitting clear, and of course then it leaves your trouble code, your DTC up on, you know, in your system. And if you hopefully have the ability to clear all that, it's just a real pain in the neck. Plus it can burn out your air compressor. Right? I mean, that's pretty bad. It gets expensive. So here's where I found the leak. Let's just I'll start the car and you know, show you basically what I was doing. There's plenty of videos on how to get to the air compressor itself, so you're not going to have a problem with that. Obviously you can hear it running now, and I'm going to just kind of show you where I squirted it on the air compressor on the fittings. The black line that I'm going to show you, make it loud when we go back there. The black line is the line going to the reservoir. The green lines head to the block valve assemblies for the rear and the front block valves. So if it's staying up where it needs to stay and it's not leaking and not settling down, that's great. That means your check valves, of course, in those block valves are working. That's my situation here. It just keeps running this air compressor over and over. So let's go squirt some joints. Okay. Just get some soapy water. We'll get some more light here. Of course, I'm going to try this too. One hand here. There's that black line I was showing you. So nothing really going on there. There's a green line going to a block valve. Another green line back here. So those joints look good. Okay. Okay, we're running again. Let's get under here. Get my eyes on it. So your tank is right here. It goes all the way up to here. Of course, I'm on the right side of the car. And that joint, I'm going to try to look at my screen here so I can see if you can see it right with the light. It's right up there. You see that black line? The green one is going over the tank. Okay, the black one, let's try to use better light to it. The black one, come on, light up. The black one's going into the tank. So the green one's going over it to the front block valve. So let's see. Let's give this a squirt. I know it's getting dark real quick because I'm trying to hold the camera too. Okay. See those bubbles coming out of that joint? See, they're flying out. There's our leak right there. All right, so we'll take this tank down and see what's going on. See if it's that threaded joint or if it's the Voss fitting on the tubing. We'll figure that out when we get it down. Okay, I got the tank down a little bit, and let's re-soak this. See if we can have a good idea of what's going on here. Okay, get the camera position. You can see our air line and the bushing. All right, got a good view of that. Let's give it some soap while it's running. Looks like the Voss fitting's fine. We don't like it. Okay. Sorry about that. We lost power on the GoPro. All right, so let's try this again. So pump's running. All right, you can see it squirting out of that lower joint. Top joint looks good. But that lower joint on that bushing, that's really bubbling up. See it coming out? So we're gonna unscrew that. Hopefully it cooperates. Take the tubing off too, obviously to unscrew it because it's all gonna spin. Okay, I know it's dark and I apologize for that, but I got good weather. I want to get this piece off. So I have the tank off. Wasn't hard. Of course, I undid I use a 12 millimeter, you know, tube wrench to get that Voss fitting off. Take your time. There's a hell of a lot. Even though you don't have a lot of pressure in your system, still a lot of stored pressure in here. So just let it leak for a long time until you feel it's good enough. And so I don't have my largest metric open, or combos I have are 21 mil. So this is a 7/8. Fit it pretty tight. Fit that nut tight. So I only have 2 hands. So what I did was, you know, I put that nut on there and I used the strap wrench to go the other way. Okay, so put it on and go the other way. It wasn't that hard. It broke pretty quick. So I'm going to pull this off. Okay, I got the nut off and we immediately see what was going on. Let's see if I can keep my light on it good enough. You see how that O-ring is split? Right there. The edge of my rough looking gloved finger. That was causing our leak. So it was an O-ring. O-ring failure. So we'll try to find one, put it on there. Didn't realize this would be an O-ring seal, but I guess that makes sense. Okay. So in my O-ring kit I have here, which is all metric by luck, a P16 here, which is what, 15.8 millimeters by 2.4. That gave me a pretty good look. Let's give that a try. Okay, give it a couple wraps with the wrench here. We'll put our tubing in and reinstall it. Okay, we've been running for a minute. We got it repiped up and got the tube sitting here on an angle. New O-ring on it. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No bubbles. All right, let's reinstall this tube, see how well it holds. Oh, by the way, when you're on this side, this nut is really tough to get to over here. This bracket from the, or piece from the gas tank, it's kind of in your way. I used a 10 millimeter with a little universal on the end. That got on the nut pretty good. And all the rest were pretty easy to get to. They were just straight up with some extensions. Okay, it's been about a month now. Just wanted to give you an update on it. Everything's fine. Compressor's running well. Just very little run time, like usual, like expected. So that O-ring split was the fix, or was the culprit, I should say. The one thing I would just caution on, when you take that tube down, the reservoir tube, and you're connecting the black tubing line to it, it gets a little tricky. You might have to have some patience with that. Try to get your angle, because they really don't give you any play on the black plastic tubing. So just kind of play with the angle that you have it. I had it propped up with a little jack stand just to kind of help out. Play with that so that you get a nice straight shot to try to, you know, muscle with your fingers to get those threads to start, because it is kind of finicky. So just be patient with that. Also, I mentioned, of course, in the beginning about check valves and stuff. I wasn't speaking right. Those aren't check valves, I don't think, in those lines. They're just regular actuated valves inside of the block valves that control the air line from the ECU. So just a little correction with that. So best of luck, and hopefully this will help you out if you have the same kind of symptoms I did.